Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. It's the Locker Room 981. I am Ayo Mairo-Ese. And of course, you know that when it's time for the Locker Room, I don't walk alone. So we have, again, you heard her voice on Monday. First time she was on air, and she's joining us again this morning. Pleasure to have you, Dr. Rosemary Udeji. Morning, Dr. Rose.
Morning. I'm so excited to be here today.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here on the show. How was your first experience on? How did you feel?
Oh, it was really lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole team is very welcoming.
That's great.
Amazing people. So I'm excited to be here again.
Right, brilliant. That's good. Thank you very much. And also we have the one and only Tega Onojaife, aka Tega Supreme. Hello, Tega. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so sorry I can't be in the studio.
Oh, we miss you live here, but at least if you're on our YouTube channel, you can still get an opportunity to see Tega in another light, in another, in another form and habitat. So Tega, please put on your video so we can see you. You can go onto YouTube, search for Smooth 981 FM Lagos to see what's going on there. And then you can send your message using the live chat option. Also, you can send your message to our WhatsApp platform. Number is 0809 444 0981. Let's get straight into our first story. World Cup qualifiers Osimhen, Iheniacho, Moses Simon's arrival swell Super Eagles camp to 22. Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho, and Moses Simon became the latest to join the Super Eagles camp ahead of the World Cup qualifying doubleheader against the Central African Republic, increasing the number of players on ground to 22. The arrival of the forwards means that coach Gernot Rohr is spoiled for choice of informed strikers. Osimhen has been in fine form, while both Taiwo Awoniyi and Iheanacho scored in for their respective clubs over the weekend. Tega,
yes, really huge deal with the Super Eagles. Camp is full. We have the most informed striker in Europe at the minute, Victor Osimhen, in camp. So they were all out in training. We also have Kelechi Iheanacho, who scored in his last game for Leicester City before coming to this game for the Super Eagles, also in camp. So we have goal scorers. And if you remember the first two games we won, or the first two matches we won, we scored to win our matches. But we're playing against Central African Republic, and in as much as we'll say that they are minnows in football, that Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria should be able to defeat the Central African Republic. Again, they are fast, they are physical, so there is a lot of work that the Super Eagles need to do. However, the Super Eagles are playing at home, and so they need to put their best foot forward, and they need to qualify as quickly as possible. If they get through the next two games, with 6 points, then we are definitely sure to the next qualification round. Also good news is that the Super Eagles coach, Gernot Rohr, has finally been paid his outstanding 8-month salary. So if there was no motivation, if there was no motivation before, there's motivation now.
Jumbo pay.
It was the talk of the week. Yeah, it was the talk of the week on Monday, when we heard he was still being owed 8-month salary. I remember we'd been announcing recently that the Super Eagles had gotten a few sponsors, and we are like, with all the million, you are still owing people in 2021. But they have settled him, they've settled his assistant. So let's see how that pans out as motivation for the team. But the camp in the spirit is ripe. I mean, I was talking to the new intakes in the team yesterday, Calvin Bassey from Glasgow, Scotland, and Taiwo Awoniyi. Taiwo Awoniyi has played for Nigeria before, but not at the senior level. So I was speaking with both of them, and they were so excited. I think my favorite Super Eagle player now is Calvin Bassey. Such a lively 21-year-old boy, very excited to be on the team. He got to know, spoke small Igbo for me, the one Igbo that he knows, and it's a Nigerian parent Igbo. That one that they say, Nga Piagi now. So basically, he was naughty. So they always wanted to beat him. So for them to speak that language to you in Scotland, you know that you need some beating. But he spoke some small Igbo to me, gave me some few leg walk. I was just looking at him. I was like, are you sure you have not been to Nigeria before? Apparently, he's never been to Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But
so this will be
still has all these things from the country with him. So really huge deal. The spirits arrived in camp. You could see the players were jovial. This will be his first time. Joe Aribo came to Nigeria to to play for the Super Eagles for the first time ever. So some of these players, the only time they've touched motherland is to play for the Super Eagles.
Wow. That's interesting.
So
that
that's
makes
a huge deal. That you can say that the national team has done. Yeah, you can say that the national team has done a lot for these guys. So a lot of them, the Super Eagles playing for Nigeria was the first time they ever came to Nigeria. And the same thing for Calvin, but I don't trust that Calvin. He's a bit too Nigerian. He's very, very Nigerian. I mean, barring the accent, he's very, very Nigerian. But it's a really huge one. So we expect to see a good win. So we look forward to it.
It's in his blood.
It's in his blood.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thanks. You're going to say, Dr. Owers.
Yeah, so I was just trying to say that another thing that we have going for us for this game is that we still have the consistency at the back, which is key and crucial for us to maintain a good defensive lineup for this game. So we are, fingers crossed, we are all positive, and we hope that Nigeria can actually get the 6 points so we can move into the next stage of the tournament.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, so we have people on YouTube. Jesuefe says, Tega, we can't see your face. So Olufemi Motai says, what's the process of participating in this? What is the process of participating in this match?
Network is shaky. So if I put on my camera, you won't be able to hear me.
It'd even be more shaky. So Jesuefe, you have to make do with me and Rose. Olufemi says, what is the process of participating in this match? Can one just show up at the Teslim Balogun tomorrow?
No, because of the COVID protocols still in place. It is still strictly by invitation. You must show a ticket before you come in.
How can he get a ticket though? I think that's one question.
Apparently the sports commission is supposed to give invites.
Okay. All right. So find someone in the sports
if you're following
commission.
their social media, if you're following their social media handles, I think there's something that they're supposed to do to give out tickets. But I don't know that they're selling. Because I inquired at the stadium yesterday and I don't know that they're selling.
All right. Okay, then. Thank you very much. And let's go on to some tennis. It's been a while. Canada's Leila Fernandez, who lost in the final of the US Open, said on Tuesday she has since received advice from 5-time Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova and cannot wait to get back on court. A day after falling to British teenager Emma Raducanu in last month's final, Fernandez attended New York's annual Met Gala where she had a chance to speak with Sharapova. According to her, she said she's an amazing person. She told me her own experience and the way that she was able to bounce back, and she's just a great person. Great inspiration to look up to, according to Fernandez. She told reporters ahead of her return to competition this week at Indian Wells for the BNP Paribas Open.
Yes, so the BNP Paribas will be holding, starting today actually. And so with big names not showing up like like Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, who's dropped out of top 10. She's now 12th. With Sabalenka, who also tested positive for COVID. So she's also out of the tournament. She showed up, but she tested positive, so she's definitely out. So all those big names are not showing up. So the likes of Leila Fernandez, who stunned us at the US Open, and Emma Raducanu, who also won the US Open, are the stars that we are going to be looking out for at this tournament starting today. So really huge one for women's tennis that, you know, they keep churning out exciting talent. Yes, if you're a Serena Williams fan, you want to see her. However, there's still great tennis being played all around. So yes, none of the regular or familiar names you would know, but the brilliance of the youngsters that are coming through will be featured this week at the BNP Paribas for the women. For the men, for the first time in how many years now? I can't even remember. No Roger Federer, no Rafa Nadal, and no Novak Djokovic. So if the next generation wanted to take over, now is the time.
Now is the time.
Today is the day. Now is the time. So really huge one for them. But Dr. Rose can add more to this.
Yeah, so it's really, really interesting because it's like the last biggest tournament for tennis this year. So everybody's for the race to the ATP Tour Final or the WTA Tour Final. This is the time to rack up the points so that you can be able to qualify for those finals. And for the women's side, it's only 4 qualifiers have been confirmed. So between the first to the 25th, from number 1 rank to number 25th rank, any of them can actually qualify for this tournament if they win this tournament. for the ATP Tour final, WTA Tour final, if they win the tournament. So it's really, really huge for female tennis, so that anybody who wins grabs up 1,000 points and can qualify. And for the first time, like you said, in the ATP Tour final, you don't have the big stars, but there are so many exciting new young players. Many of these players are ranked lower than 30 years old. So for the tennis, it's really bright. So we are seeing new people come out. We are seeing bright names like Daniel Medvedev. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play, because he has one of the best return in tennis. So it's really exciting time for tennis. And for people who are not used to the big names or are tired of the big names, now it's time to see some new people play some exciting and wonderful tennis.
Excellent. All right, so let's move on to some football, right? But not the football that I think is American football. So two former footballers who have accused coach Paul Riley of the women's football actually, Paul Riley of sexual misconduct in the NWSL said they want more action to protect players. North Carolina Courage sacked Riley after the allegations, which the Englishman denies. Sinead Farrelly and Mana Shim were both coached by Riley at Portland Thorns. According to Shim, she told NBC's Today program in the United States, "I want more justice, I want better policies, and I want players to be protected."
I think it's a great thing that this thing is happening now, because apparently this is the latest scandal, but this is not the only scandal. In recent weeks, a lot of stories have been coming out about sexual assault in women's football in America. Remember when the gymnasts came out and they eventually sent that pedophile to jail? It was shocking because it's systemic. So you are abused, but you can't speak because you'll be victimized. And eventually, I think that's one thing we need to take from this story. We are not pitching against each other. Yes, we may be competitors against each other on the field of play, but at the end of the day, it's to push women forward and women's sports forward for the younger generation that's coming after us. And once the gymnasts banded together, they found out that there were so many of them being abused, but because they were in isolation and keeping quiet, they didn't know who else was a victim. So they eventually spoke, and he's now in jail. And for women's football, that has to happen. Unfortunately for women's football, even the head of women's football, who happens to be a woman, was trying to cover it, not cover it up per se, but she didn't want to speak so that she won't be kicked off the table. At the same time, she couldn't cover it up because she also suffered it and she also wanted to something to happen. But eventually, because she didn't come out to take a stand, she had to resign. It will not happen in Africa, Sha. Africans don't resign. They wait till they get fired. But she resigned. She resigned because the allegations have been reported through the channels. They've just not been dealt with. And so she resigned, but right now it's something that everybody's looking at. FIFA is looking at this. World women's football is looking at it. So it's not just America now. It's gone beyond. Even English football is looking at this because Paul Riley is English. So it has gone across the waters now. They can't cover it up. You can't throw the file somewhere. You have to address the situation. So really huge deal. I wait to see what will happen, because when these cases came up, they stopped the league. They're like, we're not playing again. Enough is enough. And you have to remember what happened in the UK last week, where a woman was taken into a police van, raped and stabbed to death by the police. So these issues have to be dealt with. You think it's 2021, we shouldn't be experiencing this. It's 2021, but some things are still the same. And so these are issues that we have to deal with. And I'm glad they're taking this stand. I'm also glad, I have to mention, that Sasha Zverev, he happens to be one of my favorite of the young stars in tennis. But his allegation, his ex-girlfriend had accused him of domestic violence a year ago or over a year ago, and they hadn't paid attention to it. But this week, or end of last week, ATP has said they're going to start investigations into the allegations. So I'm glad that even whether it is the players on the pitch that are committing the sexual assault or the players on the pitch that are victims of the sexual assault, they are looking at it. It's important that we wipe this out. It's too much victimization everywhere. You want to enjoy your sport. You don't want to come in and have to surrender or submit just so that you can play what you love. It's unacceptable level of slavery. So we need to deal with that.
Yeah, the Me Too movement is there.
Yeah. All right, so Dr. Ray said the Me Too movement, right?
Yeah.
Playing a huge impact. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we have some stories in sports to get through. Mancini wants unbeaten run at a World Cup ahead of Spain clash. And then we have that Germany star Mueller unsure how to interact with fans amid COVID. Let's talk after this break here in the Locker Room 981. Okay, so this is the time where we get to interact with our on. Tega, can you just put on your video just for a few seconds so we can see your face?
We really want to see my face. This is Tega, the producer.
For your fans out there. Yeah, let's see. So give us a little tour of what you're doing. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so right now.
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so right now I'm at the camp for the Central African Republic players. I'm supposed to interview some of their players that are going to feature against the Super Eagles. So the team is having breakfast, and then after that they're going for their team meeting, and then I will have some interviews with some of their top players. That's why I'm not in the studio today. So Super Eagles took me out. Yeah, so I'm at. So
we're happy about that. We love it.
Yes, thank you. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm waiting. I'm practicing my small French, my tiny French, the French I refused to learn from Mrs. Sumo in secondary school.
Bonjour.
I'm going to practice it today.
So tell us, Tega, give us a glimpse of some of the players.
That's beginning at the end of my French. Okay, so they have this young Swiss. They have this young Swiss guy that they're about to unleash on us. The Swiss national team almost snapped him up, but Central African Republic was able to tell him that, look, at the end of the day, yeah, African. Look at Kondobia. He wanted to play for France all his life. It's only at the age of 28 or thereabout that he realized he's not playing for France again. So he decided to come and play for us in Central African Republic. So they warned him. So now you people know. So he's coming back. So he's here, and he's one player I want to watch. I've watched him. I've watched some videos of him. He's very fast. He's very physical. My team are here, so I'm just directing them. He's very fast. He's very physical, and he can get goals. So he's one person that we are going to look out for. However, we have our own young stars, Jarve, so we can't do and undo. So yeah, so he's one I want to talk to. And I also want to see if I can talk to Conor. Yeah. So I'm practicing my French now, so just leave me alone. If you hear me say something, it's practice. If it's Ibe I speak at the end of the day, it's still practice.
We love it. So we can't. So, are we going to get to watch this interview anywhere? Is there any platform where this interview?
Yes, it's going to be. We're going to put. It's going to be on TV during the match. But some of the things we'll ask them to do, like yesterday, I asked the new Super Eagles players to show us their Nigerian side, and one of them did one fantastic leg work. I thought he said he's a Malian. That made me just know that this one is definitely Nigerian. He said he's a Malian, and when he did his leg walk, I was like, what's happening here? So really huge.
Amazing.
So I'm going to ask them some Nigerian influence, their Nollywood influence, their music influence. And so those videos will come up on social media, and I'll even post it up on my stories. So watch out for that.
Yay! See, guys, we're back now. But thank you, Tega.
Okay. All right.
It's still Smooth 98.1, and oh my goodness, we always tell you to go onto YouTube because you get some behind the scenes scoop. So we had a little chat with Tega, and she gave us some premium information. We love our YouTube family. If you're on YouTube, please put in the comment section that I was on YouTube and I heard what I heard. And Tega Onojaife is here, as well as Dr. Rose Udeji, and of course you're here, and that's all that. Okay, so let's get on to our other stories. Roberto Mancini said on Tuesday he wants Italy to keep their world record unbeaten going until after next year's World Cup, as he prepares his team for their Nations League semi-final with Spain. Wednesday's match at the San Siro will be the sternest test of Italy's 37-match run without defeat since they won Euro 2020 in the summer.
A big one happening today. Italy versus Spain, and we always want to see these big matches. But the UEFA Nations League It's supposed to be a friendly tournament. So somehow the Europeans into a prime product. And we are all hustling to now watch this content. But Italy faces Spain in the semi-finals of the UEFA Nations League for the finals taking place on Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I'll confirm. But really huge one for them. Spain has been complaining. The Spanish media have been complaining about the team that Luis Enrique keeps picking, and and they're not happy. And now it's no longer a question of whether they didn't pick a Real Madrid player or they didn't pick a Barcelona player. It's just that we have so much strength in depth. Why are you picking these boys? So he came out to defend his team, saying he had to pick players that not only play regularly for their team, but have played excellently as they play regularly. So it doesn't matter what talent or how popular a player is, he's picking players based on form and the roles that they can play in, that some roles have multiple players. So, and he can't take all of them for that role just because he wants to carry everybody in form. So he's come out to defend his decision. However, he's playing against the European champions. Now, Italy may not be the most exciting team to play against, but they are one of the most effective teams right now in the world. And it was proven from their performance at the Euro 2020. So they will come out there and they will make it hard for you to score against them, and then they will beat you at penalty shootout. So worst case scenario, you will still carry last. So it's something that if Luis Enrique again fails against the Italian team, then he has no defense. However, he wins. If he wins, you know what I always say? You can argue with a man's methods, but you cannot argue with his results. So if he wins, they'll be like, oh, that was brilliant by Luis Enrique. But if he loses, all these complaints that they're giving. So it's a really tough one for him. But it's going to
all right. Okay.
Be an interesting match for Mancini against Luis Enrique. For Mancini, though, he's still struggling with his striker's position. The fact that Chiesa hasn't played as many games for Juventus as he would have loved, it's also giving him a headache. But like I said, Italy doesn't need to score. They can drag it all the way to a penalty shootout and try to win it there.
Another thing again was that if you looked at the 2020 Euro 2020 tournament, the semi-final match that both teams played against each other, it wasn't like Spain played badly, but they played better than the Italian team at that time. But it's just that Italy in the finishes, Alvaro Morata couldn't finish all the goals all the passes that were sent to him. So if Luis Enrique is able to sort out the striking position very well, I'm sure Italy's going to have a run for their money in this match.
All right. So Shay on WhatsApp says, Tega, please, when are Falconets playing CRA? So Falconets and Super Eagles are playing CRA this week. Tega, have you seen the record that Arsenal has never conceded Champions League goals for over 5 years? Tega, your phone on YouTube. All right. Tega, do you want to answer that?
Thank you so much. So CAR, okay, so let me say I'm remiss in my work because I've been overwhelmed with production of the Super Eagles. I know that the Falconets are supposed to play CAR, but I do not know the day. So I'm apologizing now for being remiss in my work. And that one is unacceptable, but hey, I've been swamped this week, so forgive me. For one time, I'm off the radar. But I know that they are playing CAR this weekend. However, yeah. I do not know when that is happening. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And then we have I think we had another comment. Let me just go through very quickly. Emeka Onelum says, truly, we have a blessed Super Eagles team, but I think we can add more steel to our defense. Isn't there a way we can invite AC Milan defender Fikayo Tomori? After seeing players like Conor Cody in that England team, it's clear he has no place there.
Let me answer that question quickly. Fikayo Tomori had indicated to somebody in the NFF, a source in the NFF, that he wanted to start playing for the Super Eagles. However, Gareth Southgate called him up this weekend. And since England is his first choice, he went there. So he had actually indicated that he wants to come and play for the Super Eagles, but he was called up this weekend because he's been playing regularly for AC Milan by England. And so he decided to go there. My point still remains that when the main tournament comes up, you will not make the cut. So it's better you cut your losses now Because I mean, England is playing Andorra, pretty easy teams that they can beat and qualify. But once they're going into the tournament proper, I don't think he's going to be the first name on the list. And you have to remember also, Rhys James is injured. So that also helped in picking him in. If Rhys James were fit, would he make the team? The answer is no. So my question is always, do you want to be a second choice or do you want to be the first and the only? If you want to be a first choice, join the team. Unfortunately for him, the Oyibo wall is working really fine. So if the Oyibo wall is working really fine, he will have to sit on the bench. So I don't know how that will work for him. But he really wanted to join us, but England called him up.
Nice one. All right. So Bash from Yaba says, Tega, this issue of sexual assault is a criminal offense. They should let the police do their job and allow athletes to do their own job and play sports. I've always said women should coach women and men coach men. That is my policy from my religious understanding. And let's quickly move on to our next story. Netherlands coach Louis van Gaal is concerned that key midfielder Georginio Wijnaldum has not been able to bed down a regular berth at his new club, Paris Saint-Germain. The 30-year-old, who is vice captain of the Dutch national side, joined PSG from Liverpool, but has started only 5 of 9 Ligue 1 games and 1 in the Champions League. Van Gaal said, "Of course I'm worried. I've already talked to him about that when he arrived."
Okay, so sorry, Ayo, let me just say something before Dr. Rose takes this story. Ayo, let me just say something. The Falconets are playing today. They're playing today at the Onikon Stadium.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Falconets are playing today at the Onikon Stadium. Today. And they beat CAR 7-0 in Cameroon, which is CAR's home ground for most of their competitions because their stadiums aren't approved by FIFA. So the Falconets beat CAR 7-0 in Douala, and they are just going to finish up the job at the Onikon Stadium today. So it's today that that's happening. So once again, I apologize for being off the ball a little bit, but I was a little swamped. So Dr. Rose, take up from Wijnaldum not playing regularly for Barcelona.
Okay, so Wijnaldum hasn't been starting regularly in this club side since he moved. At the beginning, he was playing, but I think since so after his recent purchase by PSG, he had 3 matches before he went to the bench, and that's because PSG team is loaded with lots of star players. There's no wing that you don't have more than one key player in a star player to play. So it was really dicey for him to choose PSG in the first place. Everybody thought he would have gone to Barcelona where he would have been able to be sure of playing regularly, but he chose PSG. And it's going to be a challenge for him with his career ongoing, because PSG side is loaded with stars. And if you are not you're not playing, if you're not working hard with the team during training sessions, there's no way you're going to get into the first team shed. And that's the problem with Wijnaldum. It's going to be interesting to see how he copes, but I'm sure this qualifier will be a good time for him to up his game and see maybe his coach would allow him back into the first team squad.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Samuel Onyeoku on YouTube says, Fikayo Tomori needs to learn from the likes of Aguilao and co. All right, a big thanks all our listeners, and special thanks to our analysts, Tega Onojaife and Dr. Rose Udeji. You can find Tega at LIS International for the work she does with ladies in sports, and Tega Supreme on all social media platforms. And you can find Dr. Rose. Oh, yeah, she's not on social media. So, yeah, if you want to send an email, do it the proper way. You can find us at Smooth981. I'm at Mairo-Ese. We have some great music lined up for you here on the show. But then at 10:30, we're going to be speaking to some interesting guests. So do stay tuned. Enjoy great music and good conversation here on Smooth 98.1.
Sporting world never loses its action because the game never changes.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Yes.
Guys.
Oh, thank you.
So
thanks, everyone.
Nice words. Probably I'll see you on Friday.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye. We can take us off now. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being a part of the show. You guys are amazing. This coverage invite to them.
Bye, people. Nice.